Hi guys, and welcome to my video. Today we're going to learn how to make a cross stitch beanie. First of all, you will need to go to the basic crown video and learn how to make the crown of the beanie, and then you can come back and continue on with this part and we learn how to do the cross stitch. Now don't be intimidated because it is very easy to do. It's all worked in double crochet, and then I have worked single crochet for the brim. You can work as many rows of single crochet as you like. You can also work as many rows of the cross stitch as you like. You could change up the pattern by doing your crown, so many inches of the cross stitch pattern, and then change back to the double crochet. So this pattern can be adjusted to suit your style. So let's get started on the lesson. Just a few more things before we get started. To make this into a slouch beanie, all you have to do is add more rows of the cross stitch or the double crochet or the single crochet around the brim, depending on the style that you want. So if you wanted to have this style exactly like there, how it's got all the cross stitch to the brim, apart from the 2 rows of single crochet, you're just going to make more rows of the cross stitch than you actually need for it to be a tight fitting, like a firm fitting beanie with no slouch or no bagginess at all. So you would just add, say, 3 or 4 rows of the cross stitch than what you need. And what will happen is, if this actually fitted Mrs. Foamy, because she's got a really small head, just pretend that fits her so it's nice and tight. So as you add extra rows, what happens is it slouches down at the back. So this could do a few more rows for Mrs. Foamy to be a slouch hat, because it is for me, so it doesn't actually fit her properly. And another tip is, when you're doing the crown, which is at the back here, when you follow the video, this is the crown, when you follow the video, you're going to keep increasing until the circumference of the outside of the crown is the measurement of your head. So my head is 58 centimeters. I kept doing the crown until it was just about 58 centimeters. And don't forget, it does stretch. So as long as you have an even amount of stitches on your beanie, or the amount can be divided by 2, that is going to work for this pattern. So I have 72. You might have 60, you might have less, you might have more. But as long as you can divide it by 2, it will work for this pattern. So first of all, you want to go and complete this video for the crown until it is big enough for you for the crown of your head. And I will put in another link to a video that will help you determine how big to make the crown of the part of the beanie. I have 72 stitches around, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. I'm using 8-ply or double knit wool and a 4.5mm or a G size hook. So what we need to do is chain up 3. Just going to zoom in. Chaining up 3. And because this is called the cross stitch, what it means is 2 stitches are crossed over like so. So our next stitch, instead of going on the left hand side of the stitch like normal, it's going to go on the right hand side. So we're going to yarn over, go into the stitch that's here, going through both loops, and then creating our double crochet stitch as normal. We're going to skip a stitch and go into the next one. So skipping that one, going into the next one, we're working this whole thing in double crochet. So now we want to cross this stitch, so we need to put a double crochet into the previous stitch. So yarning over, going into the previous stitch through both loops and then creating our double crochet as normal. Yarning over, we want to skip a stitch, going into the next one, working a double crochet, going to the previous stitch. So we just went into there, you're going to go back to that one and work your double crochet. And what it's doing is crossing over the 2 stitches that we are doing. And this is the stitch that we use all the way around the beanie. So for our next stitch we are going to skip a stitch. So we're skipping this one, going into the next one, yarning over, pulling up a loop and creating our double crochet. We need to go back and cross over. So we've just gone there, we need to go back into that stitch because this stitch isn't being used, so we go into there. We're going to repeat this the whole way around. So we're skipping one, double crochet into the next, then we need to cross back over and do the one that we just skipped. So that's skipping one, double crochet in the next, and then crossing back and completing that stitch. So you want to repeat this all the way around until we get to the other end. So when you get to the end, it may look like you've got one missing, but you don't actually, because this stitch here is crossing over into there. So what we need to do is slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. And what you need to do is we need to put a cross stitch into the cross stitch. So if we go here, we're going to go back over to this one. What we want it to be doing is the cross stitch crossing over that one and that one. Does that make sense? So we're in here, so we actually have to be over here. So when we do our chain 3, do our next stitch and cross back over to there. But if we do our chain 3 here, we're actually going to cross back over to here, and it's not going to look right. So what you need to do is, you've done your slip stitch to join, you're going to slip stitch in the next stitch, just loosely. Then you're going to chain 3, or do your single crochet. It's in the same stitch as the slip stitch. Single crochet, chain 1. And then you're going to go back to this stitch here. So you're going to go over to here, cross back over, go through both loops and work your double crochet. So when we go along, because we're going to miss a stitch, go into the next one. So you're going into the second one of the 2 stitches. So going into the top of the second one, or you can just count miss a stitch, so you're crossing back over. So you're skipping a stitch, going into this one, crossing back over to that one. And you're going to repeat this all the way around until your beanie is long enough. Remembering to slip stitch to join, and then slip stitching over until the next stitch, so that your V stitches, your cross stitches, are coming out of your cross stitches. So complete this until you have your hat long enough. I do apologise about this part of the video not being at my usual workplace, but it's just a little part of the video, so it's not going to make too much of a difference. So what we've done is we've made all the rows that we want to for the length of our beanie, and now we're just going to add a brim. So what I'm going to do is just work 1 single crochet in each stitch. So I'm going to chain 1. So we have joined our row from our previous row, and you're going to work yourself into each of the double crochets across. We're going to work 1 single crochet. So it's going into the stitch, yarning over, pulling up a loop, and pulling through both. Going into the stitch, yarning over, pulling through, 2 on the hook, yarning over, and pulling through 2. You're going to repeat this in every stitch around for as many rows of single crochet that you like. There we go, I added 2 rows of single crochet to my little brim. I only wanted a really thin one, but you can add as many as you like. And this is a bit big for Mrs. Foamy because we all know she's got a small head. So it's a little bit of a slouch beanie on her, but on me it fits perfectly. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment and rate the video. And don't forget to subscribe because there will be plenty more coming up. I do plan to get 1 video per week. As you can see, it's just started raining. You might be able to see or hear it anyway. So until next time guys, happy crochet!